Good to get yourself out.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Today is Tuesday, the 15th of March, and we are on the John Lavinia Success Mastermind platform. I apologize for being out of breath, but in a moment, it will all make sense. So this is my third week in a new job, and I just want to say welcome to everybody who's on the platform today, because I have kept everybody waiting almost half an hour, which is something I hate doing. So apologies once again to Gail, Mandy, Catherine, Daisy, and Linda. And anybody else who's going to join us or who tried to join and didn't see anything happening, I apologize. But there will be a recording of this, and hopefully it will make sense and I will have something to talk about. So I'm in the, like I said, third week of a new job, completely new, sort of the same industry, same sector, but a different kind of business. So if you think that a hospital does business with maybe pharmacies, and a hospital would do business with maybe rehabilitation centers, right? But the hospital environment and the rehabilitation center environment or pharmacy center environment are totally different to each other. So I've been in aviation for over 10 years, right? But I've moved now from, say, a hospital to a pharmacy situation. So you have more clients in the pharmacy. The footfall is greater, right? So people are coming through the doors wanting prescription, buying cosmetics, all sorts of things, right? So that's the kind of hot pressured environment I'm in right now. So I come into the office because I'm in a client-facing role. So I get to see our clients face to face, and I participate in meetings and present papers, et cetera, et cetera. So I come into the office twice a week, on a Tuesday and on a Thursday. Don't ask me how I did that, but I think I'm going to have to revise this so that I am at home on a Tuesday, so you don't get me keeping you waiting, because in this environment, it's just nonstop. Anyhow, so I get into the office on Thursday last week, and I have I have lots of allergies, but I can't be in the same room as a banana. I actually walk around with an EpiPen. So on Thursday last week, I get into the office, and I get out of my car, everything's okay. Get into the lifts, all's fine. I go up the escalators, that's all fine. And then I get into the office space, so the floor plan where my team sits. And I walk in, and immediately I can smell banana in the air. And I'm thinking, oh my God, where's the banana? Where's the banana? So I'm looking left, right, up, down, floor, bin, thinking I need to find where it is so I can avoid. But at this point, I'm thinking I should probably turn around and run back out. And maybe if somebody sees me run out, then they'll see why. Anyway, I make it to my desk. And by the time I get to my desk, literally my skin is clammy. I'm sweating profusely. I'm gasping because I can't breathe, because now I've had to walk. So if you can think of two desks, so two banks of desks, and there's a walkway in between. So I walk through these two, and just to my left, so my desk is the desk I was going to be sitting at that day. It was just two to my right. And on my left, almost diagonally across from where I'm going to be sitting, somebody has had his coffee, he's had his banana, and he's put the skin in the empty coffee cup, right? The disposable cup, the paper cup. And I see this and I freeze, mid-stride, I freeze. And I barely turn to the person sitting next to him, who happens to be somebody on my team. And I go, Anna, I need you to get rid of that skin right now. That's all I could get out, right? And then I got to my desk, put my bag down, and I couldn't breathe. I was gasping. So of course she saw I was in dire straits. And so the colleague next to her, Jay, also gets up. So between them, they get rid of the skin, empty the bins, And they're like, how am I doing? I didn't bring my inhaler, right? So I go, okay, didn't bring my inhaler, didn't bring my antihistamines. What do I do? So I thought, you know what? I need to walk out the building and just stand without my coat in the cold and let my skin calm down. Because once my body starts hyperventilating, then I pass out, right? So all of this is played, and I didn't know that I had an audience and people were listening to this exchange. Anyway, when I get back to my desk, I get my boss's boss come introduce himself to me to say, hello, pleased to meet you. I understand you're the new joiner on the team. And they go, what can we do to make you safe, right? I didn't know he sat next to me that day for the rest of the day, right? And I didn't know this, I didn't know who he was. I just thought it's another face, right? But this is my boss's boss, and not my boss's, actually, my boss's boss's boss. So 3 layers above from my immediate boss, right? And then a guy above him comes to my desk an hour later and to introduce himself, to say, I'm so sorry, I haven't come by your desk, but I heard what happened this morning. How can we help you? How can we make this safe, right? So of course, word now has spread. And we had this conversation with everybody that needed to know before I joined the organization. In fact, before I signed the contract and accepted the offer, I disclosed all of this, right? So you would think they were better prepared. But I was very gracious about it. And the person who had the skin had seen an email about it. And so was profusely apologetic to me, to saying, I'm so sorry, I put you in harm's way. But I was then thanking him for being gracious, because I have had people in the past say to me, oh, how weird is that? How can you be allergic to banana? Right? So the fact that he was apologizing for the oversight, I was just thanking him and saying, thank you for being so gracious, right? Now, if I hadn't handled that situation the way I did, what I'm going to say next would have been wrong way around, right? So that's Thursday last week. So I worked from home Friday, Monday, and I'm back in the office today. I kid you not, from the moment I walk into the office, I go to the 16th floor. The first person I speak to has a banana in his rucksack. While I'm in the doorway having a conversation with him, somebody across from him at a desk has a banana skin on their desk. Once again, my skin starts going clammy. Now, I was meant to have a 2 p.m. appointment with a lady called Emma, and she happened to be in the room. She takes one look at me and she goes, from somebody who was really jovial when you said good morning just now, are you okay? Was what she asked. And I said, no, there's a banana in here. I don't know where it is, but I can smell it. And she said, oh my God, you're the lady I had the 2 p.m. meeting with. I was like, are you Emma? She goes, are you Ivié? So that's how we introduced ourselves, right? So she then goes, oh my goodness, okay, let's just take you out of this office. Let's sit in the corridor. Do you want a glass of water? What can I get for you? By this time, I'm hot to the touch, right? So imagine what you see now, but imagine my skin going red, right? And being all clammy and stuff. And then it goes red. So when she touches me to like move me into the corridor and sit me down, she goes, my God, you're burning up. I go, well, that's my body fighting off the allergen. She goes, I have a meeting with you at 2 today, and I didn't realize, and if you're calling this a mild reaction, I'm glad I witnessed this, because you have no business being on this floor, right? So I left the 16th, and she actually, on my way to the 16th, I stopped at the 14th, handed in my phone to be programmed, blah, blah, blah. She said to me, I'm not going to let you go back to your desk on your own. I'm going to walk you back down, because she could see. By this time, I was shaking. I didn't have my EpiPen on me, didn't have my inhaler, nothing, because my bag's at the desk, right? I just went up to the 16th floor to get my access card sorted out. Anyhow, she walks me all the way back down. I kid you not, we don't get out of the elevators on the 2nd floor where I'm based, where we see a cleaning lady with a trolley having a break. And what's she eating? A banana. Emma didn't see this. I saw it. And I said, Emma, you're not going to believe this. There's another banana. And Emma goes, what are the odds? By this time, she looks at me. I'm ready to keel over. I'm like, oh my God, I need to get to my handbag fast. So she goes, let's keep moving. So we go past, skedaddle past the cleaning lady. You couldn't make today up. And then we get just one desk away from my desk, and there's the lady sitting right there. And what does she have on her table? A banana. So in the space of 5 minutes, I've had 4 encounters with this bleeding fruit, right? By this time, she's like, you know what? I just ran out of there. I just thought, you know, I can't do this, right? So I just turned around, ran out, and just stood in the corridor frozen. And she came and she was like, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not. I need to sit. I need to feel like throwing up. I need my this. I need my pills. I was just talking rubbish. I mean, I was like, I wasn't making sense. By which time our business manager has seen me, and she was like, what's going on? What's going on? And so Emma fills her in. And she says I need my handbag. So of course, this other lady, Karen, goes back in, brings my handbag out. For the next 2 hours, I've got Emma, who's a first aider, facilities manager. I've got Karen, who's business manager, literally holding me up because I can't sit up on my own. So that's how my day has been today. We sat in this room together for close on 2 hours. They had to get ice packs, one on my forehead, one on my neck, just to try and calm my body temperature down. You can see me all nice and respectable. All of this had to come off because the body was just, you know, right? But all through it, I kept apologizing, saying, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be a problem child. I don't mean to cause, you know, stress or pressure. Please explain to the lady who had the banana on her desk. She wouldn't have known about it because we've just moved offices this weekend. I mean, this was me still thinking about the business, right? And everybody kept saying to me, can you stop apologizing, right? This is something you have no control over. You're allergic. Stop apologizing. But I kept saying no, because I and where I'm going with this, so if you're looking for a topic today, is how we respond to something can very well impact the outcome. Now, if I had gotten stroppy and I was trying to contain myself because I could see they were freaking out, right? I live with this. So I know when it's a major reaction, when it's a minor, but I could see the fear and the concern and the panic in their faces, right? And so I was like, what could I do, knowing what state I was in, to make sure that I calmed them down, because they probably never experienced something like this before. In fact, they've never encountered something like this before, right? And so I was thinking, the more gracious I can be and the less stroppy and the less of a diva, right, I can be through this, the better the outcome I'm going to get, right? So now let me give you some background. Karen, God bless her soul, has spoken to facilities. She's organized parking for me. I don't know if you know London at all, but this is central London. There's no parking. The building has maybe a handful of spaces. Karen was able to secure a space for me every time I come into the office for my first month, right? Once she knew about the allergy, she did that. So this is somebody who has extended a lot of grace to me in my 2.5 weeks of being here, right? But I could see her panicking because she could see I was in distress. And then I have somebody else who I know will probably have more power going forward, and who I need to also calm her down because she's a first aider. Yes, she's probably been around the block. She's stuck EpiPens in people before, et cetera, et cetera. So she's used to this, but I could still see the panic in her face, right? So this is me still thinking about the business, saying I'm in a client-facing role. I've got to be in the office some of the week, blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry. If you can get my hand back, I'll just take the pill. It will work in half an hour. I'll be able to get back to work. I mean, this is me still thinking about the business, not about me. Because I kept saying the way I respond to this is going to tell the kind of feedback, the kind of impact, and the kind of longer term outcome I'm going to get out of this, right? So it's almost like I wasn't thinking about what's in it for me, but I was almost saying, how do I help them manage this? Because I'm a special breed. I don't want to be this special, but hey ho, I am, right? I don't want to live in a bubble. I've got to communicate with people. I have to work with people. I have to interact with colleagues, right? Anyhow, we sat in the room for 2 hours. I was feeling nauseous, had my head down, still had the ice pack everywhere, brought the body temperature down, got back to my desk, and then we sat down. Unbeknownst to me, Karen has gone and told every single boss in the building. When I say every single boss, I kid you not, from the head of Europe, Middle East, America, head of HR, head of credit, I mean, you name it, everybody knows, right? So all day that I've been at my desk, waiting for 5 o'clock so I could get on here, because I was like, there's no point going home and be stuck in traffic and not make it back in time. I thought to myself, I'm going to do this call and then I'm going to go home, right? And so I said to Karen, Karen, why are all these people coming to my desk? She goes, no, these are our senior executives and they want to make sure you're okay. They just want to check in and they want to know what else they can do to make the environment safe for me. Now, if I wasn't of the right mind, and if I didn't respond the way I did, I don't think Karen would have escalated. She may have, I don't know, right? But what I'm talking about today is the way we respond to stuff, even when it's life-threatening, the language we use, our posture, our body language, our tone of voice, do we remember our manners? Do we still say please and thank yous? Can very well make a difference. So I had a risk assessment meeting at 2 this afternoon, and between Emma and a lovely lady called Sue, apparently now I'm even going to be working in the office less, which I didn't think was ever going to be possible in this pharmacy type environment, right? They have now secured a permanent parking space. So it's not just for my first month, right? These are not perks you get in central London office buildings. I don't know if you know, it's like saying you go into downtown Washington, DC, and you got a parking space waiting for it. It doesn't happen, right? And I just had the head of Europe, Middle East, and Africa at my desk, sitting right beside me saying, am I okay? Checking in. He doesn't need to know my name. That's not the kind of introduction I was looking for, just by the way, right? But at least he's never going to forget who I am, right? But also when he heard the news, I also had to allay his fears. I had to make him comfortable to say, you know what, boss, I'm not going to keel over now. I've taken meds, I am responding. As you can see, I'm fine, and I will be fine. And then I still said to him, I said, somebody else is going to come and I'm going to have somebody drive my car and I'm going to go home. So I'm not going to be driving under the influence. This is me still thinking about the business, because duty of care in European labor law is really, I don't know what it is like in the US, but here it's really, really strict. And God forbid anything happens to me on the premises, they could be liable, right? But this was me just assuring them that I live with this. This is the reality of my life, right? So I know how to manage this. I will help you help me, but we've got this. You guys have gone above and beyond. And I still thanked him. He said to me, so how have your first 2.5 weeks been? And I said, there must be something on your application process that people inhale, because everyone has been warm and welcoming. But this is, once again, the way I chose to respond. I could have said, it's absolute CRAP, right? Or I've had better. I could have phrased it differently. My body language could have said something else. But so I made him feel like, you know what? There's no buyer's remorse here. It's the best decision I could have made. Oh my God, did I get a smile out of him, right? Because I want him, even though he's meeting me under dire circumstances, I still want him to leave that engagement on a positive note, if that makes sense. So I'm still thinking of my response and how that outcome long-term is going to be, right? So once again, he's extended to me, what can the business do to support you, right? You don't get this. It just doesn't happen. So what I'm talking about today is, one, no buyer's remorse. So, you know, caveat emptor, sometimes when we go, we buy a dress or we buy a handbag or buy a pair of shoes, we take it home. And by the time we take it into the house and we want to put it in the wardrobe, we have second thoughts about it, right? So I've made this decision to move from a hospital kind of scenario into a pharmacy environment. I have no regrets. It really is the best decision I could have made for me, for my career now, right? So there's no buyer's remorse. I'm not thinking, oh my God, can I go back to where I came from? Hell no, right? I'm so comfortable 2.5 weeks in. I couldn't have planned it better if I was given a list, a laundry list, and somebody just said, make your wish list. I couldn't have asked for better, right? And so he asked me, he said, oh, am I all, like, is all my IT stuff done? And am I on the system and all of that? And I said to him, I said, let's not talk about IT, right? I could have said, it's the pits, shocking, right? Which would have been the truth, right? But once again, I'm thinking my response is going to affect the outcome, right? You don't want to tell the head honcho the first time you meet him that you're not doing a great job in a certain area. I mean, come on, right? No one's 100% perfect. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, right? So what I'm saying is, one, sometimes when we make life-changing decisions, we never know what the outcome is going to be. But I want to reassure you that take that plunge, jump in, not just dip your toes in, jump in, both feet in, submerge yourself, right? And just trust that you won't have buyer's remorse. Secondly, with every experience, with every setback, with every curveball, how we respond to the incident, to the situation, affects the outcome on a long-term basis. And we can choose our words, we can choose our tone, we can choose our body language. Because forever and a day now, I've got people on side that yesterday I didn't know from a bar of soap. I've met a lot more people today. I mean, fine, once again, this is not how I want to introduce myself, but guess what? I know a lot more people in the building. I know a lot more about the building. I mean, I came in from the parking, the basement. I came in via the goods lift, if you can imagine that. So I'm beginning to understand every nook and cranny of this building where I work, right? And it's just, I choose to focus on what's going well, right? I choose to focus on the positives, on the plus side of things, as opposed to saying, oh my God, 2.5 weeks in, this hasn't, nah, right? Big picture, right? So that's what was coming up for me, because I was thinking to myself, I know I've got the call, what on earth am I going to talk about? But I was like, talk about the experience between Thursday and today, just talk about what you picked up, right? And so when Mandy called me, I hadn't even prepared what I was going to say. So it's between Mandy, your call, and me jumping on my phone is when I've done this. I didn't know what I was going to say. I thought I was going to talk about something else, but this is it. That was my alarm going off for 5 o'clock, right? To tell me to set up. But that's all I wanted to say. So I don't know if anybody wants to chime in and give me feedback. I mean, I don't know if this is useful, but that has been my day today.
I think everything you've said is true. your approach to whatever, or my approach to other people, to business, affects 100% what you get back. And to be able to, even though with all of your discomfort and the dangerousness of that, you were able to still put them at ease. No wonder they've bent over backwards to help you. And so it's wonderful. So it's good advice.
Thank you, Gil. It's just been my day. It's been my last, I don't know, but I'm just amazed at how prepared they are to support me through this. So yeah, it's not the norm, I can tell you that. It really is not the norm. Yeah. So thank you, Gil. Does anybody else want to chime in on this?
Ivié, calmness of power comes up for me.
What's that?
Calmness is power.
Oh, yeah, I believe that too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So the fact that you stayed calm and you didn't freak out and you weren't being a bitch and, you know, yelling and screaming at people like, oh, what are you, stupid? You brought in a banana, you know? So, yeah. Posture, absolutely. Power. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I'm going to remember that. Calmness is power. I love that.
Well, I've been reading the Serenity, the Serenity chapter in As a Man Thinketh.
Yeah.
So I've been listening and reading that every day, and that's what's coming up for me. So.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Linda. I'm going to remember that. Calmness is power.
Calmness is power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. Needed that.
All righty.
Thank you. Love you too. Does anybody else want to chime in on this?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that your outlook is so amazing. My mom's got real severe allergies like that too. And hers are, of all the weird things, she's allergic to newspaper ink. She can't even open her mail.
Wow.
So, really fun. Yeah.
Oh
so
my goodness.
It's hard to keep a good outlook. I'm amazed that you're able to do that.
I always say I've got a choice. I can be down in the dumps, so I can be up in the clouds. And I prefer the view from up in the clouds than down in the dumps, right? So I don't know. For me, I think it takes the same energy to be down in the. I think it's actually more energetic. Like I think we use more muscles to be down in the dumps than we do if we're floating on the clouds, right? And I'm all for quality of life and stress-free living, right? So if the clouds are going to carry me and I can float on them, why wouldn't I want to solve it? Like, I don't know. I just thought, this is a place I'm probably going to be long term, right? So the way I start is the way I intend to continue. And I just said to myself, there's no way I'm going to rock the boat from day one, right? I want to come here. So I think I've spoken about this before. One of my names is Fragrance. And the thinking behind that was everywhere I go, I'm going to be a ray of sunshine. And everywhere I go, I'm going to be a breath of fresh air, right? I've always taken that with me. So starting this job, I said that can't change. So every time people call my name, because I've got my full name on the systems, right? So it comes up Ivié Precious Fragrance Barnabas, right? So that's my full name. So my middle name's a Precious Fragrance, right? But I always remind myself when I see my name, I've got to live up to that name, right? So it doesn't matter where I go. That has to be what I give out. It just has to be the core of me. It has to be my essence. If I don't do that, then I'm answering to another name and not the name that I've been given, right? So I guess it's in my DNA. I can't be anything else, right? I do have bad days. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I do have bad days, but when faced with a choice, when I'm with it, I choose to be positive rather than negative. Thanks, Catherine. Does anybody else want to weigh in on this? I know it's going to be a terribly short session. I apologize, but
I'll come in on it, Ivié.
Yay! There's Manji. Thank you, Manji, for the message, for the call, for the Skype, for the everything. Oh my God.
I guess you probably hadn't worked it out, which is not easy, especially when you're in a new job and it's like that far in.
Exactly.
But I totally agree with everything you said. It's so important how you react to it. And the difference between you having a go at everybody or saying, how did you bring the bananas in for? Didn't you read the email and all this lot? That would have given everybody a completely different impression to the impression they got from you. and it wouldn't have been a good one, would it?
Exactly.
And you recognize that with all those flaws, somebody's going to bring a banana in that probably hasn't read the email. But now they probably won't when they realize it's such a serious allergy. Really important.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I think you're going to fit in there really, really well because of what you said, and also because of how everybody reacted. It doesn't happen very often over here. You're dead right.
No.
Especially the big managers coming down. You know, a lot of companies would see it as a hassle. You know, you've got an allergy, but a lot of them would see it as a hassle. And I haven't worked in many places where they would have come down at those levels and checked that you were okay.
I mean, there's nobody higher than him in the building. There's nobody higher. If something went down, he is the person who's going to call the shots. There's nobody above him in this building of 20 floors as I speak. And he's made the effort to come all the way down to my desk.
Yeah.
I didn't go to his office. He came to my desk.
We don't even live in a litigious sort of society where we sue people a lot, do we? You know, it's not like, you know, in some cases, I might say, well, you know, you haven't been duty care. We don't do that here. So it was literally that he cared. So I think that is really good on a lot of fronts. Yeah. And I had a quote, I can't remember very much, but he basically said something like life is 10% what happens to you, 90% the reaction to it.
Absolutely.
And it's so true, because however you react to things, it says how your feelings are going to be and how the actions and reactions are going to be for everybody else. So, so well done, and thank you for coming here too after all of that.
I know. So when I saw your message, I was like, oh my God, something else? Like, what have I done now? What haven't I done? And I was like, oh, this day couldn't get better. Even if I planned it, I was like, oh my God. So I was like, I will be there. And I was about to stand up when the big guy came to my desk. So I had to sit back down and have that chat. And I thought, okay, Phil, as much as I'd like to chat with you, I got a group of people waiting for me. But I was like, you know what? Yeah. So I knew you guys would wait. But thank you so much again for just holding the fort. Yeah. I need to write all these time changes down.
You had to find somewhere to go as well, didn't you? You can't just do it at your desk. Exactly.
Yeah. So this was me thinking, what meeting room can I sneak into and just do this chop, right? Yeah. So,
yeah. That's brilliant. But how were they in your old company as far as this banana allergy?
It was an uphill. I mean, considering that they knew about it before I joined them, like almost 11, 12 years ago, it was fine initially. And then, I don't know, something happened over the years, and I don't know, change of managers and lost in translation and I don't know, whatever. But the last 5 years of this company, 3 of them were really bad. I mean, got to lawyers talking, unions involved, medical doctors. I mean, it got really nasty. And then HR were like, look, we have a duty of care. We can be sued. And, you know, she's already talking to lawyers, so we need to pull our fingers out. But it took 3 years to have all those conversations and get there. And then in the last 2 years, I had a totally different boss, and all of that was rectified. And it was not a problem. And I worked from home 100% of the time. And if I had to be in the office, they gave me parking space as well, eventually. But it was a uphill battle to get that done. But these guys from day one are bending over backwards to say, what can we do? In fact, I've been told not to come into the office for the rest of the week. Just not to come in for the rest of the week, because until they put all the controls and all the measures in place, they don't want me back in the building. So I've been told I need to work remotely the rest of the week, and then they'll let me know when it's safe enough to come back. So because they want to put signs up and, you know, signs by the bins, and it's a whole, the risk assessment today, they've got a whole list of recommendations they want to make. So
that's amazing, isn't it? Because that's usually not the first company, not the second. So that's brilliant that there's people out there like that. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm forever grateful. That's all I can say. I'm humbled, because I don't know what I've done, you know, to deserve this. I don't know who in what life I did something good to, but they've gone above and beyond today, I must say. I've really been humbled today, just looking at everybody coming and going, and even people I don't know. I mean, you know, I work with a Japanese firm, so Japanese, English, and everything in between. Everyone's come by my desk. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's an amazing bunch of people. I couldn't have picked. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought about this if I was gonna pick what kind of colleagues I wanted. So yeah. Thank you so much, Mandy. Does anybody else want to say something, or are we just gonna log off? And I'm gonna have more meetings. I have 2 more meetings before I can leave the building. Yeah, but thank you once again, everybody, for just hanging in there and holding the fort while I got my act together and came to join you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Gail. Thank you, Mandy and
Thank you,
Linda
Ivié.
and
Yeah,
Daisy. Thank you, everybody. See you guys soon.
Take care.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.